when William Johnson's army reached Lake George in September 1755, they set up camp here. The French were already aware that this army was heading north towards Fort St. Frederick, and they had sent a force of about equal size out from Fort St. Frederick to intercept Johnson's army. Those armies basically hunted for one another in the woods for several days until about September 8th they found each other. And Johnson got wind that the French force was south of him, and he was concerned that they were going to attack the small garrison that he'd left at the site of what is now Fort Edward, which didn't exist yet. The fort was just being built then. So he decided to send out a reinforcing force of about 1,000 men to basically help the guys at Fort Edward. The French noticed that and actually set up an ambush about 2 miles south of here and completely surprised that force, which was led by Ephraim Williams, who was the colonel of the Massachusetts Provincials. The battle that ensued came to be called the Bloody Morning Scout, and the soldiers retreated headlong to this site where their comrades had begun to fortify the site in anticipation of a French attack.
Colonel Ephraim Williams' will, which he wrote in Albany before he came up here, endowed what is now Williams College. And because of that endowment and Williams College's heritage, Williams College built a monument to Williams at the site of the Bloody Morning Scout. If you go down Route 9, you'll see what looks like an obelisk on the side of the road, and that is the site of the Bloody Morning Scout. Now, in about 1930, road construction was going on in that general area, and near a culvert particularly, they discovered 4 bodies, 4 skeletal remains. And based upon what they were able to do at that time, they determined that those 4 remains were provincial soldiers from Massachusetts who died in the Bloody Morning Scout. And in fact, there's actually a reference in one of the diaries speaking about how they went down after they buried the other 140 men. They went down the next day and they found 4 more of their comrades and buried them together. We would like to think that those 4 men talked about in the diary are actually the 4 men that were found in 1930. In 1935, they reburied those remains here in the park at this site. These are the 4 unknown soldiers of the Battle of Lake George. And when the site was rehabbed a few years ago, we identified that the actual tomb of the soldiers is right here in front of this stone monument, and you can see it by the pattern, the different pattern that's in the walkway.